The Forgotten Baker. In the quiet town of Willow Creek, Ohio in 2025, Evelyn Harper, 68, was a legend. Her bakery, Harper's Hearth, had been the heart of the town for over 30 years. The scent of her cinnamon rolls and vanilla sponge cakes drifted through the streets, drawing in everyone from school kids to retirees. Evelyn's hands, weathered but steady, had kneaded dough for countless birthday cakes, each one a labor of love for her three children, Lila, Mark, and Sophie, and their growing families. Every year, she crafted towering confections for their celebrations, her heart swelling with pride as they smiled around her creations. But this year, on her own birthday, the phone stayed silent. No calls, no texts, no visits. The silence stung deeper than Evelyn cared to admit. The final blow came at a family gathering a week later. The house was filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the chatter of cousins. Evelyn had spent hours perfecting a three-tiered lemon chiffon cake, its delicate frosting piped with care. As she set it on the table, Lila, her eldest, chuckled and said, "Mom, your cakes are so old-fashioned, like something from a 90s cookbook." The room erupted in laughter, guests nodding as if Evelyn's work was a quaint relic. Her cheeks burned. She forced a smile, but inside, something cracked. Her children didn't see her as a mother, an artist, a woman. They saw her as a free dessert machine, churning out nostalgia on demand. That night, she lay awake replaying decades of flour-dusted mornings and late-night icing sessions. She'd given everything to her family and her town, but what had she kept for herself? The answer was clear: nothing. The next morning, she made a decision that shocked Willow Creek. She hung a closed sign on Harper's Hearth, sold the bakery for $250,000, and packed her life into a suitcase. With the money, she leased a sleek storefront in a trendy Chicago neighborhood where artisanal coffee shops and farm-to-table bistros buzzed with life. There, she opened Eclat Patisserie, a shop that was hers alone. Its glass cases gleamed with macarons, tarts, and delicate pastries that bore no trace of Willow Creek's old-fashioned charm. Evelyn poured her heart into Eclat. She experimented with lavender-infused eclairs and matcha millefeuille, her hands rediscovering the joy of creation. The city embraced her. Food bloggers raved, lines formed before dawn, and strangers became regulars, charmed by her quiet passion. But back in Willow Creek, her children were reeling. They'd heard about the sale through Chone gossip, and the news hit like a betrayal. "She didn't even tell us," Mark muttered to Lila, who stared at her phone, rereading Evelyn's farewell letter. "I baked for your joy, but now I bake for mine." Weeks later, the three siblings drove to Chicago, unsure what to expect. They found Eclat buzzing, its tables packed with hipsters and families alike. Evelyn stood behind the counter, her apron pristine, her gray hair swept into a chic bun. When she saw them, her smile was polite but distant, the kind reserved for customers. "What can I get you?" she asked, her voice steady. Lila, flustered, tried to joke. "Mom, you're really doing this. No more free cakes?" Evelyn's eyes flickered, but she didn't laugh. She slid a menu across the counter. Everything's priced as marked. Sophie broke first. "We're sorry, Mom. We didn't realize," her voice cracked, and she gestured at the shop. "This is incredible. You're incredible." Mark nodded, his usual bravado gone. "We took you for granted. The cakes, the bakery, everything." Lila reached for Evelyn's hand, but Evelyn stepped back, wiping her hands on her apron. "I'm glad you like the shop, but I'm not just your baker. I'm your mother, and I needed you to see me." The words hung heavy. For weeks, Evelyn served them only as customers. Their orders rung up with the same courtesy she gave everyone. It hurt, but she held firm. Slowly, they began to show up differently. Mark brought her a scarf he'd picked out, remembering her love for soft blues. Sophie called just to talk, asking about Evelyn's day, not her recipes. Lila wrote a letter, not a text, pouring out her regret and pride in her mother's new life. Each gesture chipped away at the wall Evelyn had built. One evening, as Eclat's lights dimmed, the siblings arrived with no order in mind. They sat at a small table, and Evelyn joined them. Her apron off, they talked. really talked, for the first time in years, about her dreams, their childhood, the weight of unspoken expectations. Violet admitted, "We forgot how much you gave us, not just cakes, but love." Evelyn's eyes softened, and she reached for their hands. She said, "I needed to find my own joy, but I never stopped loving you." Eclot thrived, and so did Evelyn. Her children visited often, not for free pastries, but for her. They learned to see her as she was, a woman who had baked her heart into their lives, and now, at last, into her own.